You got into Harvard Law?
What, like it's hard?
Welcome to Watch Mojo, and today we're counting down our picks for the top 20 movie comeback lines.
What gives you the right? What's the difference between you and me?
I'm not wearing hockey pads.
For this list, we're looking at the best rebuttals delivered by characters in films. And if you haven't seen all these movies yet, consider this your spoiler alert. What movie comeback line do you love? Let us know in the comments. Number 20, Warthog-Faced Buffoon, The Princess Bride. The Princess Bride is a timeless story of adventure, romance, and devastating insults. When the noxious Prince Humperdinck finds his supposed bride Buttercup with the supposed dead Wesley, he proposes a duel to the death.
To the death.
But Wesley proposes one to the pain. The prince doesn't understand, and before he explains, Wesley gives him this all-time great takedown.
I'll explain. And I'll use small words so that you'll be sure to understand, you warthog-faced buffoon.
And his verbal undressing of Humperdinck doesn't stop there, telling him about the horrible fate he wishes to befall him and calling him a miserable, vomitous mass. This moment shows how words are capable of inflicting just as much pain as the sharpest sword. Number 19, I have to go shopping now. Pretty Woman. In sales, good customer relations are everything. But somehow, the sales clerks at this fashion retailer did not get the memo. When escort Vivian visits a high-end clothing store in the hopes of purchasing a new outfit, she's treated with hostility and told to leave.
Look, I got money to spend in here. I don't think we have anything for you. You're obviously in the wrong place. Please leave.
They may think they've triumphed over the dejected Vivian, but their victory is short-lived. The next day, Vivian returns in a sensational new outfit. She's not looking for an outfit, but to tell them what a mistake they made, and that she won't be giving them her business.
I was in here yesterday. You wouldn't wait on me? Oh, you work on commission, right? Yes. Big mistake. Big. Huge. I have to go shopping now.
Hopefully, they thought twice about judging a customer by their outfit again. Number 18, I Ain't Got Time to Bleed, Predator. In real life, injuries like being shot require immediate medical attention. But in action movies like Predator, you can delay treatment so you can deliver a cool comeback. In the heat of battle, heavy gunner Blaine is told by explosives expert Poncho that he's been hit.
Son of a bitch is dug in like an Alabama tick.
You're hit. You're bleeding, man.
I ain't got time to bleed.
Not at all fazed, Blaine reacts to this injury like it's nothing more than a stubbed toe. And he's not the only one who gets to deliver a cool line. Right after, Poncho lets off some grenades and asks Blaine if he has time to duck before they explode.
You got time to duck?
Even without Arnold, this Predator scene is peak action movie coolness. Number 17, an insult to stupid people, A Fish Called Wanda. The bigger one's ego is, the easier it is to damage it. When jewel thieves and lovers Otto and Wanda get in a spat over Wanda's seduction of barrister Archie Leach and Otto's subsequent reaction, he protests her use of a certain S-word to describe him.
Don't call me stupid.
Oh, right! To call you stupid would be an insult to stupid people!
She agrees, but not in the way he intended. As Wanda puts it, Otto's intelligence isn't even equal to that of sheep, and all sorts of things he claims to be true are in fact false.
Now let me correct you on a couple things, okay? Aristotle was not Belgian. The central message of Buddhism is not every man for himself. And the London Underground is not a political movement.
Jamie Lee Curtis's sharp tongue and Kevin Kline's wounded reaction to her undressing of his arrogance are just two reasons why A Fish Called Wanda continues to be a comedy classic. Number 16, I Am Big. It's the pictures that got small. Sunset Boulevard. When you're on top, it's hard to believe that could ever change. That's the theme of Sunset Boulevard, Billy Wilder's classic noir about a faded silent film star. When screenwriter Joe Gillis recognizes Norma Desmond and refers to her previous fame, Norma has a comeback for the ages.
Get out, or shall I call my servant?
You're Norma Desmond. Used to be in silent pictures, used to be big.
It isn't that she lost her power. Instead, it's the films themselves that weren't worthy of her talent.
I am big. It's the pictures that got small.
Gloria Swanson, herself a silent film star, packs every syllable of this line with total conviction. Norma might not have spoken much in her films, but she sure knows how to make her words count. Number 15. Your mother was a hamster and your father smelt of elderberries. Monty Python and the Holy Grail. We weren't around in the Middle Ages, but we don't think they talked exactly like this. In one scene from this classic medieval comedy, King Arthur and his men come by a castle settled by some French soldiers, seeking the titular chalice.
If he will give us food and shelter for the night, he can join us in our quest for the Holy Grail.
Well, I'll ask him, but I don't think he'll be very keen. He's already got one, you see?
What?
The representative for the soldiers claims they already have a grail and refuses Arthur's request to see it. Things get pretty personal from there, with the Frenchmen going after both Arthur's mother and father with his put-downs, which are as creative as they are hilarious.
I fart in your general direction. Your mother was a hamster and your father smelt of elderberries.
You know what? We'd watch a whole movie of this man and his insults. Number 14. But you have heard of me. Pirates of the Caribbean, The Curse of the Black Pearl. It didn't take long for audiences to fall in love with Captain Jack Sparrow. It's not that the pirate was particularly dashing or heroic. In fact, it was the lack of those qualities that made him endearing. After assessing Sparrow's low-quality supplies, Royal Navy officer Norrington declares him to be the
worst pirate I've ever heard of.
Eager to get the last word, Sparrow points out that Norrington does know who he is, which is validation enough.
But you have heard of me.
Jack Sparrow might be a lousy pirate, but when it comes to handling insults, he is an absolute pro. Number 13. No, Mr. Bond, I expect you to die. Goldfinger. James Bond is one of the coolest characters ever created, but we have to admit his enemies are pretty charismatic themselves. The evil gold fanatic Auric Goldfinger captures Bond, and in true movie villain fashion, straps him to a table with a laser pointing right at his nether regions.
I think you've made your point, Goldfinger. Thank you for the demonstration.
Choose your next witticism carefully, Mr. Bond. It may be your last.
As the laser burns through the table, Bond realizes his options are limited, but he still asks Goldfinger if he's expecting information. Goldfinger counters this, saying what he truly expects of Bond.
Do you expect me to talk?
No, Mr. Bond, I expect you to die.
We know that this scene isn't going to be the end of 007, but it is still a suspenseful encounter with a great line. Number 12. You brought two too many. Once Upon a Time in the West. There's so much to appreciate about the opening of Sergio Leone's epic spaghetti western, from its gorgeous landscapes to its sound design. But there's one line that lets you know this isn't going to be your typical gunslinger tale. Three men wait at an empty train depot, exchanging glances but not words. Then, a train arrives, and off it steps a man playing the harmonica. The other three have been sent to kill him and laugh about how he's outnumbered. But this is Charles Bronson. As soon as he lowers his eyelids and shakes his head, you know it's about to go down.
Looks like we're shy of one horse.
You brought two too many.
The guns go off and the men go down, including harmonica. Unlike his foes, though, he lives to see another day. Number 11. Why don't you go piss your pants again? Superbad. If you do something embarrassing when you're younger, you better hope that others don't remember. Or if they do, hope that they don't use it against you. When classmate Greg gets upset with Evan for his lack of interest in their current soccer game, Seth brings up a traumatic moment that's clearly burned into Greg's memory.
Hey Greg, why don't you go piss your pants again? That was like 8 years ago, asshole.
When Greg brings up how long it's been since that particular incident, Seth nonchalantly retorts with how
people don't forget.
This isn't just a great comeback. It's also a great way to establish a relationship between characters in under a minute. Number 10. No. Have you? Aliens. The xenomorphs aren't the only ones exhibiting slimy behavior in this sci-fi sequel, but that doesn't mean it's left unchecked. When cocky Private Hudson sees fellow Colonial Marine Vasquez doing pull-ups, he smugly asks her,
"Hey Vasquez, have you ever been mistaken for a man?"
Without missing a beat, Vasquez says she hasn't and throws it right back at him to the praise of her fellow soldiers.
No. Have you?
Oh, Vasquez. He just too bad.
It's pretty impressive to affirm one's femininity while also challenging another's masculinity in 3 words. Hudson doesn't seem too hurt by it though, and later on, he has much bigger problems to worry about. Number 9. Yes, it's true. Ghostbusters. Being a Ghostbuster is tough. You have to deal not only with supernatural menaces, but also skeptical bureaucrats like EPA Inspector Walter Peck.
People think they're seeing ghosts. And they call these bozos who conveniently show up to deal with the problem with a fake electronic light show.
Fortunately, things are a bit easier when you have Bill Murray, or Peter Venkman, among your ranks. When Peck rants about the Ghostbusters and their supposed fraudulence to Mayor Klotch, Venkman looks on with total disinterest. When the mayor asks if these claims are true, Venkman instead affirms something about Peck's manhood, much to his fury.
Is this true?
Yes, it's true. This man has no dick.
Murray is the king of deadpan roasts, and this scene is one of his finest hours. Number 8, your mom's chest hair. Mean Girls. We all have those high school memories of being insulted and not being able to think of a good comeback in time. In these moments, we wish we could be Janice Ian. When an obnoxious classmate makes a rude comment about her hair, Janice snaps back with a cutting response about his mother.
Nice wig, Janice. What's it made of?
Your mom's chest hair.
It's a brief moment, and right after, she's introducing herself to Katie in a friendly manner.
I'm Janice. Hi, I'm Katie.
Janice is one of the most likable characters in the Mean Girls ensemble, but she's not about to take insults without dishing out some of her own. Number 7, your opinion, man, The Big Lebowski. A great comeback doesn't need to be particularly inspired. It doesn't even need to be said with any kind of energy. When Lude, Bowler, Jesus Quintana taunts the Dude, Walter, and Donnie about how they're going down in an upcoming competition,
I see you roll your way into the semis. Dios mío, man. Liam and me, we're gonna f*** you up.
the Dude stumbles his way into perhaps the most polite comeback we've ever heard. He has a lot more on his mind than bowling, but his response epitomizes the laid-back nature of the Dude.
Yeah, well, you know, that's just like, your opinion, man.
If you're ever in an argument that you want to get out of as soon as possible, this line always comes in handy. Number 6, Yippee-ki-yay, Die Hard. Evil mastermind Hans Gruber thinks his plan to take over Nakatomi Plaza and steal from it is foolproof. But he didn't count on matching wits with the likes of a detective named John McClane. When McClane introduces himself over a walkie-talkie recovered from one of Gruber's dead henchmen, Gruber starts to sense that his scheme might have a new obstacle.
Who are you, then?
Just the fly in the ointment, Hans. The monkey in the wrench. The pain in the ass.
His cold and sneering tone might intimidate some, but for the armed and dangerous McClane, Gruber is a coward hiding behind a facade of power.
Do you really think you have a chance against us, Mr. Cowboy?
Yippee-ki-yay.
With one softly spoken, profane comeback, John McClane gets us amped up even more than we already were. Number 5, genius, billionaire, playboy, philanthropist, The Avengers. Part of what makes superhero movies like The Avengers so good is how they create compelling conflict not only between heroes and villains, but also between heroes and other heroes. When the Avengers are initially assembled, there's more hostility and less camaraderie between the members.
Nuclear deterrent, because that always calms everything right down.
Remind me again how you made your fortune, Stark?
I'm sure if he still made weapons, Stark would be neck deep. Wait, hold on. How is this now about me? I'm sorry, isn't everything?
I thought humans were more evolved than this.
Steve Rogers questions Tony Stark's hero qualifications out of his Iron Man suit, and Stark rings off 4 impressive attributes, starting with genius.
Big man in a suit of armor. Take that off, what are you?
Genius, billionaire, playboy, philanthropist.
Black Widow's facial reaction to this comeback pretty much matches ours. Fortunately, Captain America and Iron Man were eventually able to work with each other, not against. Number 4, how do you like them apples? Good Will Hunting. It's great to be educated, but not if you're using your intellect as a way to demean others. Clark learns this the hard way in this scene from Good Will Hunting. After flexing his supposed genius at a neighborhood bar, the arrogant history student is confronted by an actual genius in Will Hunting, who dresses down Clark and his unoriginal arguments.
Is that your thing? You come into a bar, you read some obscure passage, and then pretend you pawn it off as your own idea just to impress some girls? Embarrass my friend?
This takedown doesn't stop there. Later, Will manages to get the lovely Skylar's phone number, a fact he is eager to share with Clark.
Do you like apples?
Yeah.
Well, I got a number. How do you like them apples?
From this point on, Boston and apples would be forever linked. Number 3, They call me Mr. Tibbs in the heat of the night. Things are unbearably heated in this mystery, and we're not just talking about the temperature in its southern setting. After Philadelphia detective Virgil Tibbs is wrongfully arrested in the small town of Sparta, Mississippi, he's asked to help with a murder investigation. But Tibbs's detective skills aren't enough to earn him the respect of Chief Bill Gillespie, who charges at him with racist insults and demands to know what he's called in Philadelphia.
What do they call you up there?
Disgusted by Gillespie's bigotry but not willing to lose his cool, Tibbs responds that he's addressed with respect in the city of brotherly love.
They call me Mr. Tibbs.
Gillespie and Tibbs's relationship later becomes a respectful one, and Tibbs showed he wouldn't let anyone disrespect him, no matter what their position is. Number 2, you can't handle the truth. A Few Good Men. Movies like A Few Good Men make courtrooms look as exciting as any battlefield. And it's only fitting that this particular case happens to involve the military. When lawyer Daniel Caffey cross-examines Colonel Nathan Jessup about his involvement in the murder of a Marine, Jessup starts to lose his cool.
You said he was being transferred because he was in grave danger.
That's correct.
You said he was in danger. I said grave danger. You said, is there any
recall what I said.
I can have the court reporter read back to you.
I know what I said. I don't have to have it read back to me.
After Caffey demands the truth, Jessup delivers one of the most powerful exclamations in movie history. It's even great as he continues, trying to argue that his rank lets him get away with things others could never.
You want answers?
I think I'm entitled to.
You want answers?
I want the truth!
You can't handle the truth!
The passion between Jack Nicholson and Tom Cruise is felt in every syllable and expression. Jessup soon falls on his own sword, but he goes out with total force. Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into your settings and switch on notifications. Number 1. Frankly, my dear, Gone with the Wind. Being dumped is hard. It's even harder when the person breaking up with you can barely muster any passion. That's what happens at the end of classic romance Gone with the Wind. After realizing that he and Scarlett O'Hara's marriage cannot withstand any further tragedy, Rhett Butler leaves Atlanta.
And where are you going?
I'm going to Charleston, back where I belong.
Please, please take me with you.
No, I'm through with everything here.
Scarlett chases after Rhett and pleads with him to stay, asking how she'll get along without him. Rhett simply tells her that's none of his concern and walks off into the fog.
Where shall I go? What shall I do?
Frankly, my dear, I don't give a damn.
Clark Gable manages to charm us even when he's being callous. And after all these years, this line is still the best movie comeback of all time. Do you agree with our picks? Check out this other recent clip from WatchMojo. And be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.